Hi there. So I kind of woke up in 2012. Back then there was the whole end of the world is near because of the Mayan calendar, and so I started researching things and uh, kind of went down the whole hole of the return of the Sumerian gods, and within a couple of years fully realized that the world actually is reigned and ruled over by a Luciferian order of psychopaths. And then in 2015 there was the next big thing that everybody was getting caught up in, which was Jade Helm 15. And all of the conspiracy theorists and the talking heads in that corner of the internet were calling, or were making it all about, GUN grabbing and the Second Amendment and martial law. And I found one lady, one inconspicuous tiny channel of one lady that had a background in computer sciences that was able to download the documentation straight from DARPA. And because of her background in computer science, she realized that Jade, and the whole logo for Jade Helm 15 was conquering the human domain. That's a fun one. But she realized that Jade was a very powerful quantum computing system that was being placed on American soil for the purpose of geoengineering. And I listened to her, it was a a little over 2 hour video, and I listened to her explain the capacities of Jade. And I said, this can't be true. This is mind-bogglingly scary. So I taught myself how to begin looking up U.S. patents. Eventually, that's what I started to do. I started to look up U.S. patent numbers for things like brain mapping, mind control, brain-computer interface. And I began to realize that, wow, they've been working on this type of technology for a long time. Okay, we're going back to the 90s, early 2000s. So then I started to study neuroscience a little bit, just to understand the human brain and what's the capacity of nanotechnology on the human brain. Can the human mind literally be controlled? And the answer is yes. The human brain is just, it's really just fat that operates through biochemical reactions and electric connections. And eventually that led me into the realm of digital convergence, that there is a group of technocrats in this world that have been leading all of this in the background, not spoken about, that have been paving the way for digital convergence and the Internet of Bodies. And then that led into, darker conspiracies concerning the level of control that's behind that. And then that led into the banking system, really understanding the global banking system, which owns everything. Everything else is just a show. Everything else is just a show. When you have a handful of people that literally own the monetary supply of the world, all of your governments are operating off of credit. All of your major corporations are operating off of credit. Not your global religions. They're the ones that are ensnaring people into it. But everything's operating off of credit, okay? And which means this handful of people, they own everything. They have global control, right? If you look up the Bank of International Settlements, they are the only people in the world, the board members of the Bank of International Settlements, that are completely globally sovereign. There's not one government above them. There are no laws above them. They follow no laws. They follow no government. They are loyal to nothing. And when you look behind the scenes, every single war, strong, like solidly since the French Revolution, has been funded by the same banking families, including what's going on now in the Middle East. It is, I just wish that the human population would wake up to the fact that, save your sons, save your daughters, and understand if wars are not funded, they don't happen. And you folks aren't funding anything, right? It's not your tax money. Your money is little more than credit that has been extended to your government, and your government is extending it to you. That's it. Your taxes are essentially interest on the payment for the credit on behalf of your government, right? But anyways, all of these things, and then I started to go down the road of how all of this aligns with biblical prophecy. Then I started to study the Bible to a deeper level, the Hebrew, the Greek, what's really being said. And then I started studying history, all the way back to ancient history, to really understand the spiritual picture of this world. And by the grace of God and through the Holy Spirit, all of these connections of this overarching puzzle piece and a greater truth concerning not just what's happening in this world, but how did we get here and what is coming, was put together for me. Because this whole world operates off of cycles, patterns. And for those of us out there that are neurodivergent, and we've been rejected and outcasted our whole life because of it, well, we have this special ability to be able to identify patterns and cycles. So, it just, so like I told all of you, if you come to the feet of your Creator and you're willing to go through the shaking, and you're willing to have your whole paradigm of what you think is truth torn down, as disturbing as it is, as fearful as it can be, just go through the process. Because when God builds you back up, your entire life story is going to make sense. And each and every single one of you carries some kind of great gift, some kind of superpower, like extraordinary ability compared to other human beings is inside each and every single one of you, okay? But for me, I always had more of an INFJ kind of brain where I see overarching pictures. I don't necessarily get into the nitty-gritty details of every single subject, but I know enough details to know how all of those things fit together in one overarching picture. And I never really realized that that's about 2% of the human population. So anyways, when 2020 came and that shot came out, that is when I started to get on this app, which is completely astounding because I'm a very shy person and a very antisocial person. So for me to even speak on the internet is odd. But God, Anyways, after years of gathering knowledge, I was inspired to come on this app and try to warn people that's technology, don't take it. And there's a much greater agenda behind it that ties into not just the technocrats and the Internet of Bodies, but the global bankers and this Luciferian cabal that's in charge of the world. And it's all biblical. It's all secular. It can be avoided because this world is not what people think it is. I have gotten... I got to that level, but I haven't even began speaking about it because it's just too much for people right now. This world is not what you think it is. It's going to be okay. Just open your eyes.